Hello, my friend. Welcome to our channel, Relax with BedTtime Stories. My name is Mushroom, and it is an honor to be your guide tonight. This is a space for you to let go, to soften the edges of your day, to come home to stillness. So take a slow breath in and exhale gently. Let your shoulders drop. Let your mind settle. Let your heart be quiet for a little while. Now, let's step through the door together into a story that will soothe your soul, calm your thoughts, and lull you gently into deep, restful sleep. You don't need to do anything, just listen, drift, and let the story carry you into the night. Sweet dreams await. So you begin somewhere between waking and dreaming. A liminal space, a flicker behind the eyelids. Your body already knows this is the moment you've been waiting for. Not to do, not to think, just to drift. Outside, soft rain patters. Not a storm, just a steady hum, like nature's version of a white noise machine. The kind of rain that doesn't fall on you, but seems to fall around you, holding your breath in a wet cradle of sound. You're safe here. Absolutely. And as the rhythm wraps itself around you, like a blanket stitched together from time and sky, you feel your thoughts beginning to soften. You might not have noticed, but the first one slipped away a minute ago. That random worry that was chewing the corner of your brain earlier, gone, evaporated like steam off a teacup. And now the others are following. One by one. Plop, plop. Thought bubbles dissolving into the puddles of your subconscious. You take another breath, and it's a little deeper this time. A little slower. Your chest rises and falls like the swell of a quiet sea. You notice your hands, how heavy they feel, as if each finger has decided to nap on its own little cloud. And your feet, well, they're basically off duty now. If they had little signs, they'd read, "Closed for the evening. Please leave a message after the beep." The rain continues, soft and persistent. You realize it's not just falling in the world around you, it's also beginning to fall in the world inside you. A gentle shower that washes the grime off your thoughts. A cleansing mist that quiets the leftover static of the day. Now imagine you're standing on a little wooden bridge. No idea how you got here, but that's dream logic for you. It never asks for permission, it just brings you where you need to be. Beneath the bridge is a small stream, swollen with rain, winding its way through a thick forest. The trees lean toward each other, their branches whispering like old friends catching up over. You think one of them might be gossiping about a mushroom that grew a bit too fast, but who knows? Tree conversations are famously cryptic. The air smells like petrichor, that rich, earthy scent that comes when rain kisses dry soil. You inhale deeply, and it fills your lungs with something ancient. Not just air, but memory. Not yours exactly, just oldness. The kind that seeps into bones and makes time feel soft around the edges. And still, the rain falls. Historians still argue whether ancient Mesopotamians used rain sounds in rituals to lull themselves into trance states, or whether they simply appreciated how much easier it was to nap during monsoon season. What we do know, sleep has always been sacred. In Greece, they even gave it a god, Hypnos. Imagine your dreams being curated by a toga-wearing celestial DJ. Speaking of curious history, did you know the earliest alarm clocks were water clocks? They dripped at just the right pace to wake someone up with a splash. So next time you feel guilty about hitting snooze, just remember, people were literally using buckets for timekeeping. But not now. Now, you are done with time. You let your hand drift down, grazing the mossy railing of the bridge. It's warm somehow, despite the rain. Everything here exists in contradiction. Wet, yet warm. Dark, yet comforting. Time doesn't work the way it used to. Seconds stretch like taffy. Hours might be folded neatly and placed into your pocket, like a napkin from a dinner you barely remember but somehow miss. You step off the bridge. The path beneath your feet is soft, earthy. It squishes a little, but you don't mind. Your feet are light now, like they're not carrying weight, but rather memory, and memory is melting. The forest opens slightly, like curtains being drawn back, and in the clearing ahead, you see it. A simple stone bench, half covered in ivy, with just enough space for one sleepy traveler. You sit, naturally, as if you've been coming here every night for centuries, as if this, levying the bench, knows your name. And as you sit, the rain shifts slightly. It begins to fall in rhythm. Not just any rhythm, but your rhythm, like it's matching your heartbeat, or your breath, or maybe both. Each drop a note, each note a step further inward. You close your eyes not because you're tired, though let's be honest, you are, but because closing them feels like opening a door to a different part of yourself. Behind your eyelids, colors pulse and fade, shapes appear and vanish. You think you see a Roman aqueduct, but then it's a dragon, or a library, or both. The dragon is reading. It turns the page with one claw and adjusts its tiny reading glasses. You smile. Of course it does. You let the image dissolve and return to the rain. You're sinking now, slowly, like a feather finding the ground. You're aware of your body, but only vaguely, more like a shadow of a body, a whisper. You are becoming soft, blurred at the edges. The path calls to you again. You rise from the bench and step forward. The ward. The forest deepens. The light thickens. There's a glow coming from somewhere, impossible to pinpoint. The kind of glow that feels like it's coming from inside the trees. You pass a tree with ancient markings on it, maybe runes, maybe graffiti from a prehistoric teenager who really liked spirals. Either way, you trace your finger along one of the symbols and feel a hum. It sings in your bones, low and soothing, like a lullaby that was written just for you. And still, the rain. You begin to feel something shifting, a kind of internal unhooking, like the buckles of stress have finally given up trying to hold you together. Let them. You don't need structure now. You don't need to figure things out. You just need to let go. Somewhere in the back of your mind, a stray thought tries to interrupt. Something about emails, or laundry, or a weird thing someone said 3 years ago at a birthday party. But the rain hears it before you do, and gently washes it away. You smile, because yes, this is what it means to rest, to fall so far inward that the outside world becomes a rumor, to walk in a forest where nothing is expected of you except simply being. And so you continue, one foot, then the other, deeper into yourself, deeper into the rain. You keep walking, and this time the path feels softer, like the earth itself has thickened into memory foam, as if it wants to remember each step you take, then forget it instantly. A forgiving sort of ground, one that holds you without gripping. There's a little gate ahead, old, wrought iron, painted once, long ago, but now chipped and moss-covered. It creaks a little as it swings open. Not a spooky creak, more like the sigh of a friendly ghost who's just glad you came back. You step through and something changes. The air gets warmer, thicker even, like you've entered a glass dome filled with breath and blossoms. The rain still falls, but now it sounds more distant, filtered, like it's coming from speakers hidden in flower beds. Because now you're in a garden, a secret one, nestled deep in your subconscious. And no, you didn't plant it, at least not on purpose, but it's been here for a long time, waiting. You glance around, eyes heavy but curious. The flowers here don't behave like normal ones. Some bloom in reverse, some blink when you look at them. There's a bush nearby with teacups growing from its branches, porcelain cups full of tiny storms. You reach towards one, gently, and as your finger brushes a handle, the tea inside calms. The little cloud swirls once, then turns pink and settles. You chuckle quietly. Okay, subconscious, you murmur. That's adorable. And it is. You continue along the winding stone path. It curves like it's been drawn by a half-sleeping artist. Soft loops and unnecessary turns that feel oddly perfect. Each turn takes you deeper into the garden and deeper into yourself. Did you know that the ancient Egyptians used gardens not only for food and beauty, but for spiritual dreams? Some historians believe they designed dream gardens, spaces to induce visions under moonlight, aided by specific flowers and herbs. Others think the gardens were just for impressing the neighbors. Historians still argue whether these rituals were real or wishful poetry written by sleepy scribes. Here in your garden, the air smells like lavender, rosemary, and the faintest trace of childhood. Not a specific moment, just the feeling of before the plans, before noise, before the world asked you to define yourself. You stop at a little bench carved from a single piece of wood. It's twisted like it grew naturally that way, like a tree decided to become furniture just to offer you a seat. So you sit, and the bench hums beneath you, not in a vibrating massage chair way, more like the way cats purr when they're pretending not to be obsessed with you. You lean back, let your shoulders melt, your neck lengthens just a little, that one knot behind your shoulder blade unraveling like a ribbon. You notice a large flower beside you. It has petals like satin and a center that glows faintly. It pulses, soft, warm, almost breathing. Inside it, you glimpse images, a medieval scribe dozing off mid-roll, a monk dreaming of oceans while copying scripture, a samurai sitting silently in the rain, his sword beside him and his eyes closed, not in battle but in peace. There is something sacred about stillness, always has been. You close your eyes again. Behind your eyelids now, you see a gate made of vines. On the other side, memories you forgot you wanted to remember, not painful ones, just the quiet ones. Moments like the shape of a leaf on a school field trip, the sound your shoes made on tile floors at sunset, the feeling of swimming underwater with your ears full and the world muted. You step through that vine gate, not physically, not exactly, just inwardly. And now everything is blooming. You're surrounded by thoughts, not the kind that race, but the kind that float. Your mind is a garden now. Each idea a leaf, each memory a bud. And you are the gentle gardener who does nothing. You don't prune, you don't pick, you just notice. That's all that's needed. You walk again. The path has narrowed. It's grown lush on either side, with mossy walls that guide you forward. The garden is denser here, more dreamlike. A fern waves at you, a flower opens to reveal a tiny compass, spinning lazily, pointing nowhere and everywhere at once. And it's raining again. Somehow, the garden has no roof, and yet the rain doesn't fall on you. It floats downward, then curves, like it respects your boundaries. That's nice. Your subconscious respects your hair. Finally, suddenly, ahead of you, a low stone wall. Beyond it, a small pond, barely rippling. You approach, and in the water, your reflection stares back. But it's not you, exactly. It's a version of you that looks a bit more rested, softer around the eyes, shoulders loose, jaw relaxed. That you nods gently, like it's proud you made it this far. You kneel by the pond, fingertips brushing the surface. The reflection smiles. Remember, it says, though the voice doesn't come from your ears, it comes from the back of your mind. You are not your thoughts. You are the garden they visit. You take that in. It settles inside you like a warm seed dropped into soft soil. A moment later, the reflection fades, and now You rise, not fully, just mentally. Your body is heavier than before, in a good way, weighted like an anchor keeping your boat from drifting. And the garden shifts again. You walk beneath a stone arch, and the light bends around it. Suddenly, you're back in motion, slowly, gently forward. The garden fades, or maybe it steps aside, and the rain begins again, this time clearer, more intimate, like it's no longer falling around you but within you. The sound of thoughts melting, the sound of dreams forming. You pass a tree with a plaque on it. It reads, "To those who came seeking peace, you were always the garden. The gate was only ever inside." You smile, because yes, that makes perfect sense somehow. You keep going. A frog croaks once from somewhere. You think it says, "Nice robe." You don't remember putting on a robe. You do. But now that the frog has mentioned it, the robe is very comfy and embroidered with moons. Ahead, a path curls downward like a spiral, like a shell. The rain gets louder for a moment, then hushes again. You descend, one soft step at a time, toward what comes next. The spiral path winds downward. Not sharply, there's no rush. It dips in lazy curves like a thought unraveling. Around you, the air thickens into a pleasant fog, kissed with rain and the faint smell of old parchment. The garden's colours fade behind you, replaced by deeper tones, sepia, slate, the dusky gold of candlelight through vellum. And then you see it. A door carved into the hillside. It's made of smooth stone, etched with swirls and patterns that shimmer as the mist coils around them. A doorknob shaped like an owl's eye. You reach out, half expecting it to be cold, but it's not. It's warm, comfortably so, like it's been expecting you. You open the door and step into the library beneath the rain. Yes, a library, because of course your subconscious has one. This place is enormous, but not in an intimidating way. It expands in every direction, hallways upon hallways of shelves, some crooked, some floating, some tucked behind waterfalls. Escalators that pour directly from the ceiling and vanish through the floor. You hear the sound of rain above, but it's distant now, muffled through layers of earth and memory. The walls breathe gently, in and out. The books? They breathe too. Some flutter slightly on the shelves. One sneezes as you pass. A paperback near your shoulder whispers, "Take me, I'm funny." You keep walking. You'll come back. Your footsteps are silent here. Or maybe they've been replaced by the sound of turning pages. You walk until you reach a table, long mahogany, the kind with worn spots where thousands of elbows have leaned. A single candle burns in the center, but it lights the space like a chandelier would. Dream physics. You sit, because of course you do. And a book opens in front of you. Its cover is blank, its pages shimmer, half-formed, and then ink begins to spread across the page. Not like it's being written, but like it's remembering. You lean forward and begin to read. But here's the twist. It's not a story you need. No. Not one from your conscious life. It's older, deeper, maybe ancestral, or just borrowed. It tells of a scholar in Babylon who spent his nights trying to decode the music of rain. He believed each droplet held a syllable of the universe's first language. His notes filled hundreds of clay tablets, most of which were used later by other scribes as paperweights. Scholars still argue whether his work was mystical genius or high-functioning sleep deprivation. Another page turns itself. You see the sketch of a woman with silver hair sitting beneath an umbrella made of spider silk. She dreams in poetry, and every morning the ground beneath her tent is covered in haiku written in dew. And then you see yourself, not exactly you, a dream version, half-formed and glowing softly. You're asleep at a desk, head on a pillow made of fog, and around you words orbit like lazy fireflies, words you've forgotten, words that haven't been invented yet. You blink, the book closes, the candle flutters, and you realize you're not here to read. You're here to rest in this memory space. A floating librarian drifts by, cloak made of paper, face unreadable. They nod politely and vanish into a rotating bookshelf. You rise and walk again, down an aisle where the books are sorted by feelings. You pass shelves labeled "Times I Almost Spoke," memories my body stored without asking, the dreams I inhaled from other people. You stop, reach for a book bound in soft suede, titled simply "Letting Go." You don't even open it, you just hold it. And in that moment, something inside you, something tight, relaxes. Another hallway opens. This one isn't filled with books. It's filled with rain. Rain that falls sideways, gently, across invisible panes of glass. It dances as you walk past, mirroring your breath. With each inhale, the droplets slow. With each exhale, they fall. You pass a small table where two philosophers are snoring. One has a quill tucked behind his ear. The other has a sticky note on his forehead that reads, "Darn, does the rain think of us too?" You laugh quietly, just loud enough for the library to sigh contentedly. In the center of this dream archive, you come to a well. It's shallow but glowing. You peer in. There's no water, just light. It pulses, and the rain inside the well, it falls upward. You reach in, and when your fingers brush the light, you remember a dream from years ago, one you thought was lost. You're not even sure what it meant, just that you woke up smiling. Historians still debate whether dreaming is just neural housekeeping, or if, as many cultures believed, it's a realm we visit, briefly, like tourists in a sacred temple. And the rain? The rain is the incense, the offering, the passage fee. You let go of the well's edge and return to the shelves. You don't need to learn anything right now. Your mind is already working, sorting, settling, restoring. All you have to do is be. You pass a room where a chalkboard is filled with equations that end in smiley faces. A tiny chalk imp waves at you. You pass another room that contains only a puddle, and in that puddle you glimpse the face of a loved one who's far or maybe gone. They smile. No words are needed. You keep walking. Past the shelves of silence, past the biographies of dreams that never happened, past the fiction of fears you never lived, and finally you reach a wide staircase. Marble steps glowing with mossy light. You ascend slowly, and the further you go, the louder the rain becomes. Not harsh, just present, like applause for resting. At the top, a door. You open it, and there you are, back outside, back in the forest, but things have changed. The rain is gentler now, the path is wider, and your body heavier, slower, perfectly ready for the next descent. The library may be behind you, but it's also inside you now. That's how dreams work. They file themselves into the soul, and you just keep walking. Because sleep is not a place you reach, it's a path you follow, and you're already well on your way. The forest welcomes you back without question. No raised eyebrows, no where have you been. Just the same gentle rain, now softer somehow, as if it knows you've gone deeper and wants to follow your lead. You're not the same as before. Something in you has shifted, settled. Maybe it's the weight in your limbs now, like your muscles have exhaled fully for the first time all day. Maybe it's the quiet in your head, like someone finally turned the volume down on the committee that lives up there. Or maybe it's just the way the raindrops slide down the leaves beside you, each one a tiny lullaby. The path now curls towards a hill, moss-covered and dappled with glowing stones. They don't like the way so much as suggest it, like polite introverts. As you climb, the trees begin to thin. You notice carvings on their trunks, symbols, stories. One shows a turtle wearing a crown. Another depicts a human shaking hands with what looks suspiciously like a weather cloud. And still another shows someone, maybe you, curled up inside a raindrop, like a pearl in a shell. The top of the hill holds no summit. Instead, there's an opening, like a mouth in the earth, wide and dark, but inviting, not ominous, more like a yawn, as if the hill itself is sleepy and saying, "Come on in, I'm warm." This is the Rainmaker's Cavern. You step inside, and instantly the temperature shifts. Warmer, yes, deeper. The air here hums faintly, like it's remembering a song it used to sing. The walls are smooth and wet to the touch, not cold though, more like clay that's been steeped in rain for centuries. You follow the path, lit by bioluminescent moss. Little patches of blue and green glow underfoot, forming a slow pulse that guides you like a heartbeat. Then you see them, the Rainmaker, not quite a person, not quite a shadow. Their form flickers slightly, as if made from steam and memory. They sit on a stone, hands resting gently in their lap, head tilted, listening to the rain. Not the rain outside, but the rain that you carry. Because yes, you carry rain inside you, so do we all. tiny storms that form around old emotions, tempests built from thoughts that overstayed their welcome, thunderclouds of unfinished sentences, drizzles of grief, mists of doubt. The rainmaker lifts one hand. You stop, not out of fear, but respect, reverence. They speak. Their voice is soft, layered, like whispers echoing in a cave filled with pillows. Are you ready to release it? You nod. No need to ask what it is. You already know. They gesture to a pool at the center of the cavern. The water is dark but shimmering, like the surface of ink in candlelight. Around it lie objects, some you recognize: an old key, a ribbon, a folded paper with your handwriting on it, a cracked phone, a mirror shaped like a teardrop. You approach the pool and kneel beside it. The rainmaker stands behind you but doesn't touch. They don't need to. This is your moment. One by one, you begin to let go. Not in a dry, dramatic Hollywood way. No screaming, no sobbing, just surrender. You touch the surface of the pool and it ripples outward in perfect concentric circles, as if the water is listening. You release a worry. It floats. You release a regret. It glows briefly, then fades. You release a tightness in your chest you didn't even realize you were holding. And it feels like unclenching after years of grasping. Somewhere in the cavern, wind shifts, or is it breath? The rainmaker hums. Not a tune, not exactly. More like a vibration your bones remember. Did you know that in the Andes, some tribes believe rain is the sky weeping with joy? That each storm is a celebration, a necessary washing of the world's emotional body? Historians still debate whether these beliefs were metaphor, ritual, or practical weather forecasting. But down here in this cave, you know one thing for sure. Releasing isn't weakness, it's wisdom. You sit a while longer, gazing into the pool. It now reflects not your face, but your state, a kind of serene openness. The kind of openness that comes only after you've cried, sighed, or laughed too hard to care what anyone thinks. The rainmaker offers you something. A small object placed gently into your hand. It's a stone, smooth, warm, with a spiral etched on its surface. You don't ask what it means, you already understand. It's not a charm, it's a permission slip to rest, to forget, to stop solving, to just be. You rise slowly, not because you're stiff, but because stillness now feels sacred, like it should be handled gently. The rainmaker bows, or nods, or dissolves, it's hard to say. You step away from the pool, and the light changes. Somehow, without noticing, the path behind you has shifted. The moss now glows a soft lavender, pointing the way forward. You follow, and with each step, your shoulders drop a little more. Your breath deepens. Your thoughts stretch and yawn. You pass a wall where ancient drawings flicker in and out like candlelight. A child laughing beneath an umbrella. A parent relating, easing a balloon into a grey sky. An old woman standing in the rain, eyes closed, arms outstretched. You reach out and touch the image of the balloon. It lifts slightly under your fingers, then vanishes. Gone. Released. You smile because maybe, just maybe, you've done enough tonight. Not accomplished enough, but released enough. And that is plenty. The cavern begins to brighten slightly, not with sun, but with a kind of ambient knowing, as if the walls themselves are offering you a soft, wordless, well done. You emerge from the mouth of the cave, the rain greeting you like an old friend. But now it feels different. Not something falling on you, something falling with you, like you're both part of the same rhythm. You begin to walk again, not to get anywhere, just to feel the steps, and far ahead you see a light, a glow, rippling, warm. The pool of letting go waits, but not yet, not just yet. For now you walk with less weight and more quiet, and the spiral stone in your hand grows warmer still. The path unfolds like a ribbon of silk beneath your feet, damp, soft, and welcoming. The sound of rain is now a low symphony, no longer separate from you, but inside you, as if your breath and the storm have entered a secret agreement. No more effort, only rhythm. You come to a clearing. It is vast, circular, edged with luminous stones that pulse faintly in time with your heart. At the center lies a pool, not large, not deep, but infinite, somehow. The pool of letting go. Its surface glows with a dim light, moonlight without a moon. The rain falls onto it and disappears soundlessly. No splash, no ripple, as if the water absorbs everything without protest. You pause at the edge. This is it. There's no fanfare, no ceremonial music, just quiet. The kind of quiet that makes you feel like the universe is holding its breath with you. You slip off your shoes, even though you don't remember putting any on, and you step in, warm, warmer than expected. The water wraps around your ankles like velvet. Not wet, exactly, just embracing, like sinking into memory foam that somehow hums. You walk slowly toward the center. With every step, a thought releases. Each one floats upward. Yes, upward. Back into the rain above. Not because you're rejecting them, but because you're done carrying them. That strange conversation that played in your mind on loop. Gone. The little to-do list bouncing in the background, dissolving. The mild dread that you weren't sure how to name, fading like steam off a mirror. You wade deeper, up to your waist now. The pool is not cold, not hot, just perfect. You tilt your head back, eyes closed. Raindrops kiss your cheeks, your eyelids, your lips. It's like being kissed by forgiveness itself. And then you float, fully now. Your body surrenders to gravity's soft cousin. buoyancy, and with that surrender comes a great unbinding. Your spine unfurls, your jaw unlocks, even your thoughts soften at the edges. You hear something now. It external, but inside, a slow, deep sound like a gong made of wind, echoes once, twice, then vanishes, and in its place, stillness. Not the absence of sound, but the presence of peace. You drift. Time is meaningless here. You are not trying to sleep. You are not even trying to relax. You are simply being, and that is enough. Above you, the rain continues, but now it's falling through you, through the version of you that is porous, open, unafraid. You think of something a Buddhist teacher once said, that the mind is like water. When turbulent, it's hard to see, but when still, it reflects everything clearly. And here you are, still reflecting. You see constellations above you. You don't remember the names, but you know the stories. A hunter, a mother, a girl who ran from a god and became a willow tree. Maybe one of them is you. Maybe all of them are. Historians still argue whether the constellations were meant as celestial navigation tools or bedtime stories for ancient sailors. But under this sky, stories are maps, especially the ones you tell yourself before sleep. You float on, and the pool listens. It hears every whisper of your body, every murmur of your soul, and it does what only water can do. It holds you without needing to fix or change anything. You might feel tears rise. Let them. They are rain too. You might feel laughter tug at your chest. Let it. The pool accepts all forms of release. The glow from beneath begins to brighten. Not blinding, just warm. It pulses slowly, sinking to your breath. In, pulse, out, pulse. You are sinking with the earth now, with the dream, with yourself. You close your eyes, and when you do, you see nothing, which is to say, you see everything. You are no longer the thinker. You are no longer the doer. You are the dreamer, the floater, the healed. Above, the rain begins to lighten. Each drop now is slower, fewer. The rhythm changes, becomes spacious. Sleep is close now, not as a destination, but as a dissolving. You are ready, and as the pool slowly lowers you back, calmer, toward its shallow edge, like a hand placing a child gently into bed, you step once more onto the soft earth. The stone path is different now. It's gone golden, barely lit, as if lit by the last spark of a candle. You walk, one step, then another. Your body feels wrapped in light. Your breath is almost a whisper. Your thoughts? As far away as stars. But you're not alone. The spiral stone rests gently in your hand, warm as ever. You place it in a hollow in a tree trunk, a gentle goodbye, and it glows once more before disappearing. Because now you have no more need for it. You are the spiral. You are the release. You are the rest. You reach a soft bed of moss beneath a great tree. The rain is now a memory. You lie down, eyes fluttering. The last thought, I am safe. And then, everything now begins to slow. The rain, once persistent, softens to a mist. then to memory, then to silence. The moss beneath you becomes weightless, the earth a pillow, your body a breath. Even the air feels like velvet, cool but full of warmth, light but grounding. There's no need to move, no need to think, no need to hold. Everything you carried is already dissolving. Everything you feared is already fading. Everything you hoped to become has already begun unfolding gently, silently, in the soft quiet of your sleep. The night no longer waits outside, it lives within you now. The stars are stitched into your breath, and the sky is folded behind your eyes. You are the dreamer and the dream. You are the stillness and the sea. You are the rain and the rest that follows. Let your breath become longer now. Let the space between thoughts widen, and let your soul slip gently beneath the waves of sleep. There is nowhere else to be, nothing else to do. Only this moment of beautiful release. And as you drift softly and safely, know this: you are held, you are whole, you are home. Good night, my friend. Sleep deeply and dream well.